Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. Head coach Tom Sawyer from Winona State Football is here once again. And it's been a while. I have to jog my memory to remember what happened on Thursday against Upper Iowa. But a shutout for you, 28-0. This was more like the team that we saw against Wayne State than it was against Sioux Falls. So tell me your thoughts on the game against Upper Iowa.
Well, I think we got our game back. I mean, to be honest with you, I know it's kind of a cliche, but we actually just played well. And a lot of kids played well. So it was a faster tempo. We didn't get caught up in the sideshow of the games about what's happening to us. We just went out and played football. And I'm really excited for our defense to get the shutout. In college football, that's really, really hard to do, especially when we're playing at home, because we also got a ton of kids into that game. So you're putting in kids for their first experiences or some playing time experience, and to still get it and hold on to that. And they had 2 shots at field goals that were pretty close and missed both of those too. So really happy for our defense. They've had some tough acts to handle, especially with that quick passing game, and I thought they did a tremendous job.
So knowing that Sam Santiago-Lloyd was going to be the feature back, basically, because J.D. Roebuck was going to be out, I kind of looked back. It had been 6 games since Winona State had a 100-yard rusher, and then Sam Santiago-Lloyd goes for a career high of 131 yards. Tell us a little bit about his game and then that play where he throws the touchdown pass.
Sure. Yeah, no, we've been working on that for a while, and we have a competition on who can throw it the best, and it was his turn and his opportunity. But Landon can throw it well. We have some other kids who can throw it as well. But I just think that Sam got a few more carries. He's one of those backs that the more he plays, the better he gets throughout the game. And we've had kind of a 2-headed monster, even a 3-headed monster there at running back the last couple years. So he's not really been the featured back all the time. So he got a few more carries than normal. And also Landon played well also. So, but it's nice to see Sam when he's like that. And then, we run outside zone, and then we decide to throw it. And he threw it to a kid who made his first touchdown too. So already this year we've had like 5 different guys score their first touchdowns, and Ethan Wittenberg made the catch. So, Sam's been talking about it ever since. So we'll see. He's been begging for more throws.
You talk about Landon Jacobson. He's going to join us in a little while here on the show. He had a touchdown in that game, and at that point, he had scored the only 2 rushing touchdowns that the Warriors had. But it's got to be great to see him back out on the field again.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's such a most dedicated kid I think I've ever seen. A kid that's gone through the injuries that he's gone through and other things that have just gotten in his way. He's a football player, and that's what he does so well. And it was fun for him, in the first game, to see him back there and score a touchdown the first time in a couple years, and now to get in this last week too was really fun for him, diving in the end zone like a little kid. And it's just, I'm really thankful that we have a kid like him on our football team, because he makes everybody around him better.
And then Owen Burke was back to form at quarterback for you. Talk about his game this week.
Yeah, he threw the ball well. He did struggle out at Sioux Falls and bounced right back. And when he's got time to throw it, he can throw it against anybody. And so the protection was solid. He made some throws that were really tough. And one got batted down. That would have been an amazing throw. Just one kid tipped it. But, he threw the ball deep, threw it short, and the intermediate routes, he was right on. I mean, he threw the ball a couple times, 80-plus miles an hour, hitting guys in their hands. So that's what he does best for us, is stand in the pocket and throw the football. And I thought he did a tremendous job.
All right, we'll talk defense, but I want to get one question in about special teams, because we saw 2 debuts at the kicker and the punter position in LaPlante and Schbach. Tell us a little bit about that decision to go a different route on the special teams.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you, it's team discipline. And Paul Ortiz was suspended for a game due to team rules and those things, and he'll be back. He's back in practice, but those other kids stepped up and did a really nice job. And Sean LaPlante at the punter, I mean, that's a tough job, and you got to catch it, and then you got to do with it and kick it. But we went into a rugby-style punt because that's something he's a good athlete, so he did that and got the ball on the ground. And some people were like, they like the high-flying ones, but what he did for us was exactly what we wanted to do. Get it on the ground, bounce it around, and make a really good returner fight to just get it. And you saw our coverage was excellent. Dimitri did an excellent job. He was 4 for 4 at extra points, did a nice job kicking off. We had one sky kick, and that was on purpose. So he did exactly, both of them did exactly what we asked them to do. So it creates some more competition in practice, although Paul's a little farther ahead in the development, and he can change a game as he has many times. But that was, you go by our team rules, and if you fail them, you're going to sit, and it's a message that's loud and clear with our program.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that defense then that I said. The turnovers. You got some turnovers against Upper Iowa. Yeah,
every time that, our goal is to get 3 in a game, and every time that we do that, not every time, but 90% of the time probably we win those games. So guys were hawking around and batting balls down and intercepting balls and just we had a couple that were dropped. So we're working on our linebackers' hands, but. Those guys, the way they run around and the speed in which they play and the way they come after people once they do catch it is really something special. And we've had that here for quite a few years, and this group of guys are very good at it.
And then the rest of the defense played very well. Nick Pritchett had 7 tackles. He was able to force a fumble. Devon Morris, 6 tackles. Gomez got a sack. And then you had Chris Adams. Great story, him coming back to the team, gets 2 sacks against Upper Iowa.
Yeah, great story on Chris. We'll get him in here to the show here sometime soon. But, he decided to chase his career in music, which will be a tremendous one. He's a great vocalist, and you've heard him sing the national anthem before, and he'll do it again this year. But, he took a 2-year hiatus from football to work on his music career and came back. He's graduating and asked if he could play again, and I said, you put in the work, you can do it, and he has. And so it was fun for him to get a couple sacks late in the game, and because he's a tremendous athlete, we just had to get him back into game shape, and now he's really playing well, and I'm excited for him.
All right, let's talk about getting the pressure on the quarterback. I know that Sioux Falls was an option, and so there really wasn't that opportunity. But that's another big facet of the defense is to put that pressure on the quarterback, especially here in the Northern Sun.
Yeah, absolutely, and you have to get hits on them. Even if the ball is out, you got to put pressure on them. Sometimes just buzzing the tower, it can be really stressful for quarterbacks. But you also got to do it in a way that you got to disguise it. You got to bring different angles, different people. And I thought our coaches did a really good job in the preparation of that last week to get after especially with a 3-step passing game, where our under coverage was better, so he couldn't just pull the trigger right away. And all it takes is one more step, and our guys are there. So we went through 2 quarterbacks in the game. We knocked the first one out of the game, went to a second guy, and we got after him as well. So I thought it was a tremendous job coaching, and I also think that the kids responded by getting the heat on the quarterback that we needed.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, get the player perspective. Landon Jacobson will join us right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. Landon Jacobson now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've interviewed you before, but not on this show. This is the first time that you've been here, so we'll kind of talk to you a little bit about your career before Winona State. You went to Grand Meadow High School, which is a 9-man football program. Tell us a little bit about the difference between going from playing 9-man in high school to playing 11-man in college.
So when I was in high school, it was when I was planning on going to college. I didn't really think about the difference that there would be, but when I got to college, I realized very quick that there's a big difference. Obviously, there's 2 more players, the field's wider, but the speed of the game is just a lot faster, and that's probably just college to high school in 9-man or 11-man, but just the speed of the game is a lot faster. And just obviously the playbook is bigger and a lot different compared to a 9-man school that I was from, at least.
And then you had a lot of success, obviously, in high school. You were able to lead the Superlarks to their first ever state title, and then you won another one the next year. Tell us a little bit about those days and if anything sticks out from those championship runs.
They were good days, Obviously, that's what got me to play college football. Just playing with my best friends. Literally, I played with them. I played every sport with them. We played offense, defense. We were just together every day of the year, basically. Winning state was big, but there was, like, I played running back in high school too, but like our line in high school was a bunch of just mean kids my size. Like I was bigger than a lot of my linemen, but they were good and they were hungry for what they wanted to do too.
All right.
Well, going back to those days, it was fun watching you because, for one reason, we have a relationship with your coach, who was also a Winona State grad that I went to college with. So it was really fun to watch him have that success as well. But feeding right off of what he said about high school, and now you're back in the college ranks. Talk about the difference in actually playing running back now at this level, and you do have some giant guys out in front of you. But how difficult it is to play running back in the Northern Sun?
It's tough. And I remember the first meeting I had with you. You said, if you want to play running back, you can go for it, but it's gonna be competitive and it's gonna be tough. The biggest difference is in 9-man. When I played in high school, there's man blocking. So I knew where I was gonna go, no matter what. I knew the hole I was gonna hit because the line was going to one specific man. They had man blocking rules, but here. It's like we do zone blocking, so it's up to me to read the holes, which obviously it takes more time to get used to from man blocking, and then it's just developing that vision, and I'm still working on that.
I got to ask you about your decision to come here to Winona State. So you talked with Coach Sawyer. You had scholarship offers from other schools. Winona State didn't offer you a scholarship. You walked on here. Tell us about why you came to Winona State, even though you knew it was going to be kind of an uphill battle to walk on.
Well, my junior year of high school, we had colleges coming in every day talking to me. Mostly D3 schools, but we had, there was a few D2s as well. And then, so I was talking to all these schools, and I was liking what I was hearing. But actually, the one day, Coach Keller came in and he talked to me and he was saying stuff and I was just liking everything he was saying, and I don't know, he got me. He got me that one meeting for 20 minutes. Every college that came in after that, I wasn't even paying attention to really. It still took me a couple months to tell them I was coming here, but I compared every school after that to I talked with Coach Keller, and I was in from that time, basically.
All right.
Let's get back to a week ago when you got back in the end zone after a couple years of dealing with injuries, and I'm not sure we've ever had a kid more dedicated to a program and to the game of football than you have been through all your injuries. But getting back in the end zone at a 45-yard run or something like that, but more importantly, to see your face coming off the field after a couple years of dealing with injury, to get back in the end zone, what was that like?
Touchdowns are always fun. I'm like, everybody was super excited for me when I got that touchdown, and I was excited. Anytime you can put points on the board for your team is exciting, is big. But I was more excited for the chance that I got, and I took advantage of the opportunity. I've scored a lot of touchdowns in my days, and it's almost expected of me. So it's just, I was just excited to start doing it again, and getting back to that place where I can perform and help the team out is big for me.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time here. A lot of more questions to ask you, but it's great to see you back out on the field.
Thanks.
And good luck in the rest of the season for you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll be with Isaiah Hall. That's right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
See that glacier?
Yeah.
That's where we gotta go.
On Travel Channel.
Oh, incredible.
When the answers to the world's greatest mysteries
Aztec gold. John Swift hit silver all over these mountains. The Alaska Triangle.
require risking everything.
It's the end of the earth there, buddy.
The Kiefer brothers
What we live for, man.
will stop
My heart is pounding right now.
at nothing.
Can you guarantee us that we'll get through the pass today? No guarantees. Wow.
All new Code of the Wild, Tuesday at 10 on Travel Channel.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. Isaiah Hall is the guest. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me here.
You know, we always thank the guests for being here, but we're happy that you're here because you had kind of a scary moment in the Upper Iowa game. Maybe talk us through that a little bit. It was the third quarter, a defensive play. You and Romario Gale near midfield collide. Just tell us what happened tonight.
Man, that play, actually, I just want to thank God first because, you know, that play happened and I didn't think I was going to get up, to be honest, which is probably one of the hardest I ever taken. But going through that play, all I seen was like I was locked on 13 and he did like I think a post. And I knew it was going to him because the quarterback was staring him down. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be my time to get a pick. So I'm like, another one to the books. And then as I'm looking at the ball and it's coming, I didn't see Romario at all. So it was just like me and the ball type of situation. And all I know is I just got hit so hard that I was looking in the sky and I was just like, whoa, like, and then it's like this sharp pain came to my head, to my stomach, and I just had to crawl up. Like, I was just like, I was out of there. And I just remember like teammates just saying, stay down, stay down, stay down. And I'm trying to get up, but my body's like, nah, like, you need to stay down on this one. Like, there's no time to be tough this time. So,
Right.
remember Stacey came to me and she told me, are you okay? Breathe. And I'm trying to breathe, but I really can't breathe. Like, I'm trying my hardest, but I'm just like, it's just stuck in the moment. Like, come on, Stacey, just breathe, baby, just breathe. And I remember her just saying, like, you know, take your time, you're good. You know, we can stay out here all night. If you want to sleep out here, we could. So I remember I was just like, all right, you know, let me just stay down for a little bit, get my breath in, get back up, and I can walk out on my own. So going through that, yeah.
So, and then you came back in the game a little bit later. What was that like on the sidelines? What do you do to kind of clear your head to get ready to come back in the game?
I pray. That's all I do is pray. I mean, I always know that God's going to be here with me. So, like, when I was on the sideline the whole time, I was just praying, asking God, you know, just to heal me from that hit because that hit was something that I never want to take ever again. I'm glad me and Romario's good, too. Like, he was kind of danged up from him. He actually stayed in the game, which I was surprised about because, like, I seen he's the one who actually flipped.
Yeah.
And that's more scary than what I did because you never know what you're flipping into, whether you're going to land on your head or your back. But luckily, we're both good, so.
That's good.
Well, you know, you're going back to that, and I'll just talk about your style of play because, you know, the responsibilities that you have in a football game are tremendous on our defense, special teams, return game. But preparing for all of that kind of a physical football game like we've had in the first, 3 games already, what do you have to do to prepare yourself and your body for that kind of a physical football game?
I mean, preparing my body, I just go to the training room. I just usually go to the training room and just do my night stretches. That's one thing I actually started doing this summer from my trainer, Tyrone Carter. You know, he just told me you need to start stretching your body every night because if you stretch, that means your muscles going to be working in the way that you want them to work in that game. So me, at night, I just start stretching and I'll make sure I ice up a little bump. So if I got like a little bruise here, make sure I just ice it because I don't want it to be bigger in the game, or if I get hit in that spot, it causes more damage. So that's what I usually do is just stretch and go see Stacey. So
Just following up on that, I think it's great that we're talking about it. But as a student athlete, all the time that people don't see you, we don't see you. We see you in the weight room meetings and practice, but there's a lot more going on to be an athlete at the college level. What all does that entail outside of the playing time?
I mean, outside, it's kind of just hanging with my friends, really. That's what I really do. I mean, go back home, live with Jake and Vaughn, they watch film all the time.
Right,
so
right.
When I go in the house, it's lock in. We got to watch this film. We got to get ready. So that's my, outside, my life, literally just watching film. I just say watching film, probably playing video games, too. But that's on the side.
And you're better than those two, right?
Oh, probably not Vaughn, but Jake. Yeah. Jake, I'm better than Vaughn. No, he's a gangster. He's good. I'm not gonna lie.
But video games actually sometimes help. I mean, we've heard like NFL players say that they'll use Madden or they'll use some other game to actually break down plays, import a playbook, go through everything. do video games help you in
Oh,
preparation for football?
definitely. My favorite football player is Jalen Ramsey, and I love playing with the Jaguars, even though they're not good on the game. But I love playing with him because I look at his style of play and I put my style in as his style. So playing Madden actually, yeah, I take it to the real world too. So yeah, that's true.
All right.
I believe that.
I'd like to ask you to kind of walk us through one other thing, and that's kick returns. Obviously, that's another violent aspect of football, and people can't quite grasp what that's like to be running full speed at somebody, have somebody else running full speed at you, trying to evade them. Walk us through a kick return. What are you looking for, and how does that all develop?
So first thing first is actually before we go out, we talk to Coach Rocco and we just ask him what you want us to do. I mean, we know what to do, but it's always those side comments that we need to know, before we go out, because he knows more than us, because he watched more than us, So before we go out there, me and Jake, we always do our little handshake, thank God or whatever, you feel me? And then we go out there and it's just like it's us and then it's them. So it's like it's crazy because it's like all the eyes on you, and I love that moment because it's like what you gonna show for. And while I'm out there, I always say, Jake, hey, make sure you're talking, man. Hey, talk to me every time. So, when he just be saying, nah, I got you. So, when the ball's in the air, I just hear him, you, we're going, you. And I'm, we're going. And I know Jake, if the ball goes 10 yards in the end zone, I know that for a fact he's going to bring me out because that's what we do. We love just bringing the ball out. So, like, going out, first off, we want to see where the ball lands. So, the upper Iowa game, I think it actually landed on, like, the 5. So, he was like, oh, yeah. They messed up already because we already on the 5, so I would not caught it. All I was actually looking at like the field, just like summarizing the field out to see like where my best hit is. But out of nowhere, it was just like the middle, and I just seen Jake full speed. And I'm like, if he's full speed, I gotta go full speed now because he's up there, and I know when he's up there, it's time to go. So when he got full speed, and I just seen a wide open hole, and that's when I hit it right away. And then I just see Jake. He needs full speed through it. But I don't know. At this time, I don't know where Jake going. I'm like, Jake's just running, so let me just run too. So as he's running, I see him hit the quarterback. Then out of nowhere, I seen another guy come hit me. And I was just hyped that we got good field position. I was just like, man, I just put my offense in a good field position. We about to go score this thing, so it don't matter. So that's my mindset going to kick return. So
Very good.
Hey, the last question I have is going into a game like Mankato this week. Playing a number 3 team in the country on the road. A couple years back when they were number 1 in the country on the road, we did beat them. What do you think we have to do, especially from the defensive side, that we have to do to get a W over Mankato?
For the defensive side, yeah, me and Vaughn was actually just talking about this last night. We had to play 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Sioux Falls game, we gave up 17 points in the 4th quarter. That's probably not good for our defense because we're way better than that. So I feel like on the defensive side, we have to play 4 quarters to be able to beat this number 3 team in the nation. We have to play 4 quarters, and we have to out physical them. Like they're gonna try to run the ball on us. They're gonna try to throw the ball up. We have to win at every aspect. We have to win at every aspect. We have to win in the air. If the ball's in there, we have to come down with it. If the ball's on the ground, we have to stop them right away for the first down. So I feel like we have to play 4 quarters, and I believe that we will. Now we locked in. So yeah.
Very good.
All right. Thank you again for being here, and good luck against Minnesota State Mankato.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll talk about the Mavericks. That's coming up right after this.
Our soccer is our sound. From the rooftops to the alleyways. Our stadium. Our stomping ground. Bigger. Louder. Like nothing else. Our soccer.
MLS is on FS1.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I want to go backwards to Landon Jacobson for at least one more question. Sure. And let's talk about the 9-man football aspect. Am I making too much of a big deal about that, about the transition between 9-man and 11-man? Is there any hesitation with looking at someone that's played 9-man to try to bring them into 11-man?
No, I don't think we hesitate at all. We're looking at the character of the kid, and we love multiple sport athletes. And obviously in those small schools, just like I grew up in, and just like you grew up in small schools, you kind of do everything. And those are the kids we like to have in the program. And Landon he's a good athlete. He's going to be a good athlete no matter what he plays. And the transition to 11-man, that first year, it seems kind of odd just because the field is so big in comparison. And like he talked about, where the speed of the game, well, that's college football. It doesn't matter what you come from. We've had other kids from 9-man programs, and we've recruited kids even 8-man programs. So it really doesn't matter. It's still the same two things. Do they fit our program? Are they a good athlete? And are they the character of the kid is really important to us.
And then it had to kind of be a little bit of a surprise for you to get him, because you didn't offer him a scholarship and other schools did, and he walks on and he does the work to get out on the field.
Yeah, and he's earned scholarship now too. So it's he was a kid that was on the bubble for us. We didn't know where we were going to play him for sure, whether he was going to play at running back or whether he was going to go to linebacker. Because he could have done either and still could, and just that kind of a kid. So in the recruiting that year, we had a couple kids at running back that were a little bit higher in the recruiting phase, but he's proved to be everything that we hoped for, and he's got more yet to go this year.
All right, very good. Let's kind of do the wrap-up of the Upper Iowa game then, the injury report. We saw Javian Roebuck out on the sideline with a kind of brace on his elbow. Is he going to be able to come back this week?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. He hasn't practiced yet, so hopefully by Tuesday of this week we'll get a better evaluation. I know that his therapy's going great, and he's running and doing some things. Whether he's game ready or not, we'll see by Thursday. But I sure hope so. But we also don't want to put him in a situation where if he does play and gets hurt, then he misses 4 or 5 more games. I don't want to do that to him or to our team. So if he has to sit another game, he sits another game. We got plenty of backs that can handle it. But he is a great weapon. So with that, followed up the rest of the kids. Came out of the game pretty clean. And we talk about Gomez and Pridgeon and those guys. As long as those guys keep getting games, we have a chance to win them. So far, so good.
All right, very good. So this week it's Minnesota State. Obviously, it's a big game every year. Do you feel like you have a little bit of an advantage this week because you had those couple extra days to prepare?
Oh, it is an advantage. Sioux Falls had the same thing before we played them, and you're just a little bit more fresh, a couple more days down, a couple more days of preparation. As they're coming off a game, a good football game that they played up at Concordia, it's always a physical game. Well, Monday to them is now like Thursday to us. So it is an advantage. But the disadvantage is we got to go on the road to play them. And and they're very good. As we know, they're ranked 3rd in the country. But it's just an opportunity for us if we go play a great football game and take care of the football. We expect that we can win.
Without tipping your hand, the travel roster again for this week. You've had so many kids play so well against Wayne State and against Upper Iowa when you've had the expanded roster. Tell us about the decision this week to pare that roster down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We're looking at a couple kids that may have in that second role where they're a backup safety, but they're a really good special teams player, or they're a backup running back, but they're a really good special teams player. So the special teams really comes into play here, and it will this week as well. We won't know maybe till we get on the bus Saturday, because we got an extra day at home too, with Friday being at home because we travel the day of the competition. So we have an extra day to evaluate, which helps. But it's going to come down to kids that have the most value in the game, and that includes our special teams.
Okay, and then you will have your regular luncheon on Thursdays?
Yeah, Thursday at noon at the Riverport. It's been going great. We had a great crowd last week, and it's always fun. I bring a couple kids like the 2 we have here today, and hope that people come and just celebrate a little football and watch some highlights and make some fun of each other.
And then you're away for a while, 2 weeks now that you're going to be on the road. Tell us about how that works, considering you had the Thursday game now, and then it'll be homecoming the next time that you're at home.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough road. Going to Moorhead, they're a good football team too. So, we got back-to-back road games. It's tough, but it's college football. It's the way it is, and it doesn't really matter where we play or who we play if things fall into place. Where it gets tough is the roster, like you talked about. Right. And so back-to-back weeks can be tough, especially after a Mankato game. We know it's going to be a physical football game. So is Moorhead, but it's a different level of football. But when we come back home, we have Minot coming into town for our homecoming game, and all the things we got going around our place. So our kids love playing at home. We love playing at home, and it'll just make it that much sweeter when we get back for homecoming.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week, and good luck against Minnesota State.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching us here on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll see you next week here on HBC TV 25.